With our hero image section done for now, let's continue building out the main pages of the site, like the home page, then the shop, then our your account page, and then we'll move on to the sub pages. The next step in building our home page is going to be adding the featured boxes below our hero image. So let's do that. We can click Edit with Visual Composer, and now click the gray plus sign to add content below the top section, instead of clicking the orange plus sign to add content to the top section. And of course we need a row, but unlike our first row, this row is going to have 4 columns. So click that arrow and then click the change layout button and choose 4 columns with 1/4 width each and update. Very nice. Now we have a row with 4 columns. Let's click the plus and let's add in a text block. And we can just save changes. I've also given you a couple promotional images to play around with in the video notes. Just click to download demo images. And once you find that file in your downloads, just open it up. And then you can find these 2 images for gift guide and shelter donations. So let's upload those to the website, edit our first text block, and this is going to be our gift guide section. So we can delete the text, click add media, and then let's upload the gift guide image. Alright. And we want the full size for this image because we want it to be large, and we're going to actually size it down so that we maintain high resolution. Enter that in. Alright, great. Then just click to the right of the image and click enter to get our cursor below it. And we need a header for this section. View our monthly gift guide. This could of course be any sort of featured box or promotional image you want about your website. And then we need some text below it, which I've already written, so I'm just going to paste that in. Perfect. To style our text, we can highlight it and select an H3 heading, which is just a medium-sized header. And then we can highlight all the text and click center. Very nice. As far as the size of each image in the featured boxes, I want them each to be 500 pixels by 500 height. But I also want good resolution. So a little trick I've done is to insert images that have a larger width and a larger height than we actually want. If we go to text, we can see that these images are originally 800 by 800. And we can just resize them down by changing a little bit of code right here. Basically, when you take a large image and put it into a smaller box, it's going to be a little bit higher resolution than if you took that normal size image and tried to make it bigger or kept it the same. Just a web design trick you can use, and then click Save Changes. And by the way, these promotional images were made in, you guessed it, Logo Maker. All you need to do is grab a shape like square, increase the size, and change the color. Then it's really easy to put text on top, of course, and add your graphic. When you save, you can also adjust the output size right here, which is really helpful. So have fun making your own promotional images or using mine. Just make sure to cite your sources. Let's set up one more promotional image on the right. Again, we need to add a text block. Delete the dummy text, click Add Media. Upload the file from our demo images for shelter donations. Full size, and we're just doing this to keep everyone on the same page. Then Get that cursor below the image, write in your header of choice, and your text. Set that header to H3 and then center. And save changes, close, and now let's update and check out the site. And we're looking alright. To get rid of this white space around our featured boxes, we have to go back to Visual Composer, edit the column, and then in Design Options, set 0 to all the padding. And you can click the Tab button to quickly scroll around and save. Close. And we're going to do that to each one of our columns. Save. And make sure that image is also 500 by 500. If your images are off size, it will throw off how the text looks, which can throw off the sections beneath the featured boxes. Great work. Let's update and check out our changes. Very nice. And I'm just going to add in the 2 comfy animals of the week with another text block and the same method that we just learned. We can also bulk upload images by clicking 2 of them, clicking enter. Alright, so I've now added in Player and JoJo, and I almost forgot to tell you to also center the images. Just click them once and align center, and that makes everything look better. Make sure to get rid of that padding so all your featured image boxes fit next to each other. The padding is just a default setting the columns have because they figure you probably don't want content to be touching other content, but in this case we do, because it looks good. And save and close. Update. And we're done with another section. Great job. The next section should be a lot easier, and the skills we're learning through Visual Composer will build on themselves. Just click that gray plus again, add a row, and now click that orange plus because we're going within the row. Let's add a text block, delete the dummy text, and just write out "we're animal people," or whatever header you want. This is, by the way, going to be our second call to action, which will take people to a different page on our site. The first call to action goes to the shop page, and this call to action goes to the about page. And let's set up our headers and center everything. Great. To improve the spacing here, because white space is our friend, let's open up the row and add in some padding and a border. Let's add in 5% above and below the text, and then a border of 5 pixels. We can select a border color here, like a really nice subtle gray, and then we can choose the border style, like double. Looks good. Now just save, and we can see we've created a new section, and it's a lot more clear because of our border and the spacing. To set up the button for this second call to action, just click the plus button, and now I want to write in "read our story" with a custom style and centered alignment. For this button, we also want an icon. So let's check yes, and Let's see what icon we can find within Font Awesome, where there are more than enough icons to choose from. And I want the flag. We can also get a real link for our button because we've created that link, and we want the link to our About page. Just right click and copy link address, then select URL and paste it in. Set link and save changes. Very nice. Let's refresh and see what we made. That looks just like we want it to, and when our customers click the button, they can read our story on the About page. Very nice. The next section is fun and easy, and all it consists of are 2 images we downloaded from Facebook. Back in Visual Composer, we can add a new row, and of course we want 2 columns, so just click Row Layout, 2 columns, and Update. Facebook can actually be a really good source of website images, especially for personal sections like your About page. And to download an image, you'll just want to find the right image. Facebook offers us 2 types of images: the landscape, which is wider than it is tall, and the portrait, which is taller than it is wide, like this one right here. You just have to right click and save image as to see the resulting size. Those images will go to your downloads, and then you can upload them to WordPress, which we're going to do now. In our new section, let's click plus and then text block, which is always a good home for an image. Now let's add media. And when we upload the Facebook images, they might be different sizes and they might be the same, which means we might need to edit them within WordPress. There's one image at 1536 by 2048, full size. Let's just insert it and see how it looks. And then in our second column, same thing. Text block, add media, upload, Wolf Mountain, and then that image is actually the same size at 1536 by 2048. Insert, and save. If you end up getting a different size, I'll show you what happens. For example, let's say we uploaded that golfing portrait image that I just downloaded. And it comes out to 720 by 960 because maybe the picture was taken with a phone instead of a camera, or a million other reasons. When we insert that one and save changes, things aren't exactly going to line up. And we now have 2 options. We can edit the image in the text tab and write in the exact dimensions of the larger image, or we can edit an image within WordPress Media. To do that, you need to find your media folder by going to the dashboard, media, and find the image you uploaded. Then click edit, and by dragging on the image, you can crop it. Or you can make the image larger using the options on the right. Just remember to hit this crop tool when you're done cropping, and save. And because we don't want this image, we can just click the red button and delete it forever. Alright, so that's how to download images from Facebook and use them on your WordPress website, and how to tweak them a little bit. Of course, we want no padding, so no extra white space. So let's remove the column padding again with 4 zeros and save. And then repeat that on our right image. And save. You get the picture, and this is all becoming pretty easy. The next section we want to create on the homepage is just another call to action. More call to actions are better. You never know where people are going to click, and you want to give people a lot of chances to get to your destinations. Let's edit with Visual Composer, and I'll show you a neat trick right here, which is that we can actually copy a section. You can copy the entire row by opening up the blue, clicking Clone Row, and now we have another call to action. And then when we hover over the word row, we can just drag it, because we want this one beneath our Facebook images. There it goes. Perfect. Now let's just open the text and change the header to people tested, animal approved. And I've got some more custom made text for us. Our blankets bring everyone together for some good Z's. Save. And of course, let's change the button to just say shop blankets. And this could be whatever sort of button you want for your business, and it could go to any page on your site, or even to a page not on your site. Let's change that icon. We can search the icons for blanket, which is pretty random, so they don't have that, but they do have bed. Perfect. Save changes. And we need the right URL. If we click the blankets link within Visual Composer, it will open the right page, and we can just copy the link and paste that in the select URL box. Great job. Save changes. And that section is all done. Make sure to update. And of course, you might want to get rid of the border here or keep it. That's up to you. Now the final section we'll add to your homepage is social media, and that'll come right before the footer. Some people like putting social media in the header and in the sidebar and all over the top of the site. They get obsessed with buttons, and I've got news for you. The only person that really likes seeing your social media buttons is you, because you want people to click them and you want more likes and tweets, etc. Now, if you're not one of these people, then I'm sorry, but that's what I see so often. The way to do it instead is to be subtle with social media. Do a really good job showing people your content before they have the option to like or tweet, etc. And then they'll be more likely to actually join in. So we're going to do a really good job with a custom social media section at the bottom of the website instead of at the top. And besides, flashy social media buttons are so 2013. Alright, so let's do it. First off, we need a new row. Perfect. And then within the row, pretty simple, we just need a text block. There we go. Now here's where this gets tricky, because this text block is going to be styled like crazy. What we want is a 4% padding above and below our element. And then we want a 2 pixel border all the way around. We can just write in 2 and it'll fill in the pixels. And then we want 20 pixels of margin on either side, so it looks like this text block is floating. Perfect. Next, we want a border radius. of 30 pixels, which will curve the edge of the border like a oval. And we want a background. But instead of the normal background, we want an image again. So let's click this green plus, upload, select, and what I did was found a nice cloud background, or BG for short, from Google. So we'll upload that and set image, and then in this drop down below the image, click repeat. What that's going to do is repeat this background over and over again, and also line it up next to itself so that it looks like a pattern. And finally, save changes and close. You can find any sort of background that'll fit your site by just looking up a keyword that's descriptive, followed by the letters BG. That's web designer speak for background. Then of course search Google Images. You could try something like sand, grass, so on, and have fun with this part because this is pretty cool. There are thousands of good options for backgrounds that you can set on your site using Visual Composer and our theme of choice. Next, we want to put some content on top of this text block, and I've written that content out for you in HTML in our video notes. I wrote it like this because it's a little bit complicated, and the easiest way to give it to you is to have you copy it from this page. Just highlight on the left, copy the entire piece, and then bring it back to the text block. Then edit your text block, and in the text tab, just paste it in, and it'll look like this. So we're on our second little coding demo here, even though this is pretty easy again because we're just copy pasting, and I'll explain to you what this means. All we have here is a header at the top where you can change the text that says watch our video if you want, followed by a little piece of custom code made by the Mr. Taylor theme developers. These two pieces work really well together, and when you save them and close, we're going to get this nice button like this. Because all the text is set to white, we'll have to view it in text tab. And now there are two more places within this custom code that you can edit. The first is just watch our video. You could say it like watch the ad or something. And the second piece is this href. What you want to do is change this link to your own YouTube video, or to any YouTube that you want to display. You could also use a Vimeo video, and if you do so, paste that link in like you would the YouTube in between the quotation marks, then change this word to Vimeo. And lastly, you can change the size of the button right here. You can make it a little bit bigger. 900 would be too big, and then save. There you go. And we'll test it out to make sure it works in a second. For now, I want to change the background color of this section so we can actually see our border. And what we want is the original color of the top bar. So let's open the site and find that color. You can find that color easily by going to Customize, then click on Header, Top Bar, and we'll choose the background color right here, which is denoted by this 6-digit hex and the pound sign. If we copy that, pound sign 3E5372, and then bring it back to our editor right here, we can make the background of the row that color. Just open up the row, and then in design options, background color, paste in that hex, and you'll be all set. Very nice. And update. I would normally set up our own color scheme, but I just thought this one worked really well. Now let's just go to the home page and test out the video pop-out. There we go, it's working. And then of course, to put our social media buttons in below our custom video section, go back to Visual Composer, click on the orange plus because we're adding to this column, and choose social media profiles. And then from this settings screen, we can center them, make them larger, and choose a color. White looks good. Alright. It looks like our social buttons could use some more spacing. So let's add some margin beneath the text block. In design, just add whatever you're comfortable with, maybe 4% again, and save. And then we can add some padding in between the social media buttons and the bottom of the row. You can do that in column, edit, design options, and then 4% padding should do it. And close. Very nice. And update. So we can see that as we get the hang of this CSS box technique, we can really gain full control of how our elements are positioned on the page. That skill, combined with the sheer ease of drag and drop, is going to be perfect for you to design and position elements on your website. And we do need to set the links to go to our individual social accounts. So to do that, click Customize, open up social media, and then just replace the Get Bow Tied with your own links. I don't have a Pinterest. And that should do it. Any links you fill in here will show up with an icon automatically on the site. For example, Google+. Alright, so we might as well create a footer now and complete our homepage design. To set up the footer, let's go back to Customize, and then click Footer. And we can see that all we can really do here is change the color and do one important section that I get a disproportionate amount of questions on, not sure why, and that's the copyright info. We can easily change this just by deleting it, and maybe we'll keep the copyright symbol and then write in our own stuff. And of course you can put a link in here if you'd like. The code to write out a link is pretty simple once you do it a couple times. You start with an alligator and then write A space href equals quotation mark HTTP and then this thing, and then you can write out the link. And these days links are pretty easy to remember. Just finish off the quotation mark and close the alligator. And then where you want the link text to end, put another alligator /A, close alligator, and save. Alright, so that's now a link. If we want this to open in a new tab, you can write target equals quotation underscore blank quotation, and save and publish. To actually put content in our footer though, we're going to need to go to widgets, and in this section we can set up the footer columns and the useful links. Just open up footer widget area, click add widget, and choose visual editor because that's the best way to set up any customized footer section. I'm going to call this section Get to Know Us because that resembles the design of Amazon's footer. Might as well stick with the winner. And then I'll just write out about comfy animals, team blog and get in touch. Let's see how that looks. Close it up. Alright, so that looks pretty good. You could also open that up and make this a bulleted list. Let's add another footer section and another visual editor. This one will be called What We Offer, and it will include accessories, blankets, people clothing, pet clothing, and pillows. Let's highlight and make it a bulleted list. And then as we add more of these footer sections, they'll slide in next to each other horizontally. So one more. Call this one Let Us Help You. Again, using design elements from Amazon.com. Your accounts, your orders, shipping rates and policies, your membership, and help. And even though we're not going to build out all these pages today, this is still a really good template for your footer. Close, and the last section for our footer is recently viewed products. WooCommerce recently viewed. This section will fill in products that your customer has previously visited and update automatically. Let's show maybe 4 products so it's not too big. And I want this in the 3rd position. Perfect. Save and publish. Alright, when we X out, we'll have a nice looking footer. We just need to change the background color to that hex. Wouldn't it be nice if I still had it copied? Let's go back to customize, header, top bar, and grab this color one more time. And then back in footer, we can just change the background color. And you can make this whatever you want, or even transparent. Perfect. Alright, let's test the elements in the footer now. Our link is working. Everyone should subscribe here to learn more about web design and get free advice and tips that actually work. And then if we view products, they'll show up here. So that gives us a good segue to actually create products and create our shop. So let's do it.